Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Rob the Warrior Strategist coming at you from San Diego around holiday time. And I want to shoot a special video today to teach you guys how to do social media in a way that's compelling, powerful, and creates more sales for your business. We're going to talk about some social media techniques that I've used for great success in business. Then we're going to veer off and we're going to talk about the nonprofit realm and how nonprofits can use social media for better awareness, fundraising, and celebrity recruitment, believe it or not. So let's just jump into it. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Rob Garcia. I work out of San Diego. I'm an MBA PhD, and I do visibility and growth consulting from home. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for a couple of years, and I run the illustrious and very, very famous Shift Advanced Life Design magazine. I specialize in helping experts pivot into highly visible industry leaders, and social media is one of the tenets that I teach in my Tactical CEQ course. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing we're going to use as our reference point is the dry erase board. So here we go. Your social media needs to have a purpose when you're creating content for it. It needs to have aesthetics and it needs to have balance. What do all three of these mean? Let's talk about it real quick. So when you're creating social media content, the purpose is the why. You need to think about what your posts are trying to achieve or convey. So don't just get on randomly and just post about goofy stuff because you feel like it. Social media needs to be engaging, it needs to be fun to look at, and it needs to have a desired purpose every time you post. If you look at my personal timeline and scroll down, you can actually tell what objective each post has. So with purpose, every time you post something, you need to think, okay, what do I want to achieve with this? Do I want to make people laugh? Do I want to create a connection with someone? Do I want to pitch a sale? Do I want to tell a story? And this, by thinking of this and asking these questions, you're going to sit back and you're going to create better, higher level content once you have an objective in mind. Always have an objective. Always do results-based social media. Don't just get on and randomly type out some random stuff that's not really good for your audience or for your engagement. You have to think about what you're doing. So purpose is the first thing. Define your purpose, right, for doing social media. The second is aesthetics. So it's been statistically proven that if you put a picture related to your post, you're going to get more views. Try and pick pictures that are custom to whatever it is you're writing about, that tie in with the story, or maybe you want an eye-catching picture that's like really interesting, like some kind of mountaintop or a backdrop or a picture of someone doing something funny. But this is how we subconsciously attract people to read our posts, is an associated picture. Aesthetics are very important in social media. So don't just post text. Text is boring. We have emojis for a reason. We have pictures for a reason. We have links for a reason. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your post is easy to read, that it flows, and has the essential elements needed in order to maximize its efficiency. So a post should have a headline that catches the eye, very important first two sentences, and once you get somebody to those two sentences, if they're still locked in, they're reading that whole thing most times. So you have to keep it interesting. At the end of it, you should have a call to action. Then you should have a related photo, and then links and comments. If you put a link in the main post, it's going to bury it in the algorithm. No one's ever going to see it again. You're better off if you put the links in comments in your first comment. Boom. Good to go. Emojis are split down the board. Some people hate them and think they're unprofessional. I think they're great for conveying emotions and for aesthetic value for posts. I use them all the time. I say go for it. There's nothing worse than a person that consistently posts boring, long-winded diatribes and has no emotion, black on white, just text on a screen. You're not going to get a ton of engagement like that, no matter how good your content is. I'm just telling you. Spice it up a little bit with some colors, some pictures, make it fun. That's what aesthetics is about. It's about design and style. Sometimes my posts take up to 40 minutes to write, but it's strategic. And those are the ones that are going to get high engagement because people really get drawn into it. And at the end of it, they feel like we've connected. And that's when you're really, really connecting your audience and you're getting that, that two-way conversational feel. Okay. The third thing to think of is balance. So when you're creating a social media plan, you have to have a couple of components of it. If you just have pitch offers, sell, 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 you're not connecting with your audience, okay? If you just have pictures of your cat, well, that's great, but that's not helping your business, right? Balance is everything. So you need to look at the percentages in which you are sharing stuff. You need to look at the time-wasting components of social media, because it's very easy to get caught in a suck hole. And, you know, if you're a type of person that spends 2 hours arguing about politics every day, you're wasting a lot of time in business. I'm just being honest. The things you want to avoid are long discussions about politics. You want to avoid arguing with people if you have differences of opinion on stuff. You want to avoid social causes, right? You don't need to be out there signing online petitions and arguing about Monsanto and then getting in a discussion about whether pit bulls are dangerous or not. There's 1,000 things you can get lost on. But honestly, your only focus for social media should be building your business, connecting with your audience, and then making sales. That's it. It's super easy to get caught up in frivolous activities on social media. There's a lot out there, but you're going to have to show some discipline and understand if you've looked at something for longer than like 2-3 minutes, it's time to press on. Get your focus back, keep going. So balance is the big one, because I see people all the time that own businesses and all they do is spend hours arguing about politics or complaining about personal stuff in their life, like real personal stuff, like naming people and things and family issues and all this stuff. If you're using social media for your business, you should be focused on, there are about 4 to 6 posts that you should really be creating. And that should be most of what you're using it for. Now, one of the questions I get a lot is, should I use my personal page for my business? Because sometimes some people just want their personal page for friends and family. I get that. But guess what? Your personal page has powers, a lot of powers. So your personal page can tag people. It can hold up to 5,000 friends, right? Your business page, you cannot tag people, but you have an unlimited amount of follows and likes, so you can build up a pretty good following with the right strategy. And then you can also see analytics on your business page, which is awesome. So just something to think about. And then if you want, you can buy boosted posts for either one. So let's talk about some of the types of posts out there, because I've taught you about balance. I've taught you about aesthetics, like what a post should look like. So here are some things you cannot go wrong with in business, okay? Promos. You should be promoting 3 to 5 people a week. By doing this, you're not only building up social currency, you're creating value for other people, sales for other people, you're making them famous, and guess what? They're probably going to promote you too. They're going to give cross-promotion, which is a great thing. You cannot go wrong promoting other people. Just make sure you take the time to do it right. Don't just say, hey guys, you should buy from my friend Rick. Here's a picture of him, here's his link. No. Take the time, write a good promotion or recommendation that's got all the things I mentioned earlier. Good headline, descriptors, a couple of reasons why you should purchase from them, a good picture of them, and then a link in comments. If you're going to promote people, do it right. Don't get lazy with it. The next thing you can do is open-ended questions. Very important. This is what creates engagement with your audience. Ask questions that are related to your business. My buddy Chaz Hickox at Crossbone Outfitters is amazing at asking questions that relate to his customers. He's like, hey, Ford versus Chevy, what truck parts are you rocking this week? You know, what kind of truck do you have? Blah, blah, blah. What kind of fishing rod's best? Like all this stuff. And he has his customers like throwing in personal comments and opinions and pictures of their own stuff. People love that. People love talking about what, you know, their own life entails. So questions are good. Stories. Stories are the lifeblood of any social media campaign. And what I mean by stories are, you can talk about your background, why you started your company. You can talk about a current event that happened. You can talk about a client or a customer or somebody that donated to your nonprofit. But understand, storytelling is a lost art. It's very valuable, and it will make you look like a champion, because what you're doing is you're creating an ongoing narrative of what your business is about or your nonprofit. And that's why people tune in. That's why people read. They want to be entertained. They're super bored. So tell those stories, guys. Get out there and think about some engaging stories you can tell. Next is pitches. So pitches just means, just like it sounds, you're pitching something you're selling. Maybe it's tickets to your event. Maybe it's a new, backpack you created, or a t-shirt, or a coaching program, or something. You should have pitches. I would say 15% of your posts in a week should be a hard pitch. Just don't even make any apologies for it. Just make that offer, get it out there, see who's interested. Make sure to identify the pain points and get out there and sell. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just all it's doing. As long as you're taking away somebody's pain and what you're offering is going to make somebody's life better, don't ever be scared to pitch. And then finally is fire for engagement. What I mean by fire for engagement is do the things that will get your posts seen by more people. And so what this means is, if it's on your personal page, tag a few people. If you're doing a Facebook Live, tag a few people, right? You want as many eyes on your stuff as possible. When your Facebook Live is over or your post is at the end of the day, go back and have conversations with people. Keep it in the algorithm, right? Keep people commenting. Keep it alive. One thing I do is I tag influencers that have bigger audiences. When I do certain posts, I want seen by a lot of people, and I'll ask them some questions, and that keeps it right up there. So fire for engagement. And then if it's something that you want to an exterior audience, you can boost it with like a Facebook boost for like $20, and you can target who sees it and what country it goes to, which is pretty powerful stuff. I know a lot of people that boost their posts, boost their stuff, and so that's how they get omnipresent on Facebook and LinkedIn. I see them everywhere. Now let's veer into nonprofits specifically. Now, nonprofits are kind of a different animal, and my absolute best person in my network for nonprofits is Patrick Kirby. If you haven't met him, he's a great guy. He runs a company that trains nonprofits on how to do stuff. So he took my Tax CEQ course, started doing events, started his own online university, and he just released this book, Fundraise Awesomer. I'm going to pin the link in comments below this video if you want to get a copy of it. I highly recommend it if you have a nonprofit, because Patrick has diagrams. He writes really, really whimsically, like he's a funny writer, like almost comedy level writer. And he talks about how to recruit celebrities, how to fundraise, how to have an event, how to do social media, and how to ask from donors and how to find donors for your nonprofit. You guys need this book. It's incredible. Highly recommend you reach out. Patrick Kirby, make friends with him. Your social media for your nonprofit should tell the story, talk about your cause, highlight events, pitch once in a while, but mostly be an ongoing descriptive narrative of why your nonprofit exists and how it can help other people. So that's something to think about, because for a nonprofit, the purpose of the social media is a little bit different. It's up to you to sit down, map out your why, and map out what you can put in order to achieve why, if that makes sense. With that, I'm going to give you guys a little bonus here. So as you guys know, I wrote a strategy guide called The Veteran Entrepreneur for veteran business owners. And one of the things I wrote about here was Facebook posts. So one thing that I'm going to give you guys is the resource thread. Now, what the resource thread is, it's a thread you create in social media that gathers valuable information using the power of your network. Now, you're probably saying, okay, Rob, what does that mean in plain English? Imagine if you just wrote an open-ended question that said, hey guys, how many business podcasts do you listen to? Which ones are you listening to? Just something like that. Guess what? Now you're going to have this list of business podcasts, boom, 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 and you can apply to them to be a guest. So that's one way to use a resource thread. If you want to know, hey, what are your best tips for raising money for a nonprofit? Guess what? You're going to get 20 great answers. Resource threads are using the collective knowledge of your network in order to gather new data, new information, new websites. They are very effective and not nearly used enough by entrepreneurs. So just something to think about is starting a resource thread. If you have questions about stuff, If you need to tap into everybody's brain, try some fun ones. Try something interesting. Like, who's the most famous person you know that you could connect me to? And just see what happens. I've gotten a couple of great connections that way. All right, guys, with that, we're hitting at the 15-minute mark. I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you for checking this out. And also, be sure and check comments under this video so you can see the link to Patrick Kirby's book and my free social media guide I'm going to give to you guys just for watching this video. If you have any questions, reach out to me. As always, it's been a pleasure teaching you guys. This is Rob the Warrior Strategist of San Diego, signing off and wishing you a powerful week. Take care.